Hush, please, Neve. I can say that to you. Brilliant. Thank you, friends, colleagues, artists. Welcome. So, thank you for this. The private view. This is the third one we've done at the Peggy J Gallery, and it's the 92nd in total, I think. So we've been going since 1930. So we're going to make it to that centenary in 2030. I'm going to be introducing Josie Dainton in a minute, our professional judge. But before I do that, I'll just say a few words about this year's exhibition. But a big thanks, as ever, to all the artists. A particular thanks to Alan and Vera for hanging this morning. Jean-Pierre and Beryl came along and did a lot of tidying up. Rebecca, who's had to go, also is helping out. And Sophie and Francis and Helen, who's on the bar here from Burr House. And Liz as well, who was putting string on and all that sort of stuff. So we've got 21 different artists this year, which I think is probably the most we've had for a good few years. So that's really good news. Some old, some new, some returning. Where's Guy? Guy there last exhibited in pre-pandemic, so that shows you how long ago it was. It was this century though, yeah. And also an artist from the Canaries as well, because when Neve and I were in Gran Canaria, we saw her work and I encouraged her to exhibit. Anyway, so that's all good. Got a couple of pictures here. Do come in. Thank you. Got a couple of pictures here where the proceeds will go to charity. There's Marjorie Drummond's picture up here, which was actually bought previously by Rebecca's father-in-law, who has sadly died, but he was involved in an accident and the East Anglian Air Ambulance picked him up from that, and he went on to live for a good few years afterwards. But he wanted, so if that gets sold, the proceeds will go to that charity, which is great. And Vicky Chalker, I don't think Vicky's made it, has she? Which is a shame, but she also is selling a few paintings, and the proceeds go to Luton Sea Cadets charity as well. I have to mention Liz Sparrow's here, because she's got a solo exhibition on the 28th of October. Yes. So do come to that as well. It's here, yeah. So that'll be another exhibition later this year. And just before I hand over to the judging and the prizes and the selling and all that sort of stuff, I was reading, and it was in yesterday's Guardian, so it wasn't an April Fool. It was doctors at Montreal actually have been prescribing passes to go to art galleries, to the Museum of Fine Arts. And apparently they gave out 4,000 prescriptions last year. So that's great, isn't it? And it's what we should do as well. Because they said, research has backed the idea, unsurprisingly, suggesting that spending time in galleries can reduce stress and loneliness and improve mood and boost mental health. So I think, you're all testament to that, being here tonight. And so I think without further ado, I'm going to hand over to the judging section. We've got a bit of a double act tonight, because we've got Matt Stewart, Barbara Stewart's son, who's also going to be giving an award. But we've got Josie here, Josie Dainton, who's a professional artist, been teaching life drawing since 2011, worked for the London Drawing, which is a classes, lots of in-person classes and online classes, and a couple of my works were products of tutors from that since 2016. So without further ado, Josie, thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. I am absolutely blown away by the works in the show, mostly the amount of landscapes and the quality and representational qualities and ability with the paint and the mediums. I, as someone who draws a lot from the figure, works a lot from the figure, teaches with the figure, unsurprisingly, not very practiced in landscapes, and therefore I'm in awe of them. So forgive me and my subjectivity with my choices this evening, but there we go. That's who I am as a person. Very judgmental, very subjective. Here we go. I have a couple of honourable mentions I'd like to just point to just before we get to the winners. I was really blown away by Akeen's work, understandably as a winner of the finalist of the landscape award. But I mean, for me, that water is incredible. The other most important honourable mention is Liz Spiro. I kept coming across one, that's a brilliant one, Liz Spiro. Oh, that's a brilliant one, Liz Spiro. And so that was a very difficult decision. But Guy has just picked it with the oil painting of the koi for the cup of the year.
We've choreographed this.
I think he's...
Yeah, come on.
That was all of my favourite things, the little flecks of light, the quality of the oil, the water. I just thought, here we go.
That's overly kind, thank you.
Thank you. The second award, actually, I think you should
actually
probably
have the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will have to get in. For the second award, I'll mention who I've selected, but who's actually giving the award is yourself, Matt, and you've got the amazing, beautiful plate. So shall I call you? Yes. Exactly.
Right.
So, I just wanted to say...
Actually, sorry, come here. Please.
I just want to say a few words about my mother, Barbara Stewart. It's absolutely delightful that we've been able to instigate this award this year. And it's something that we've been talking about for a while. I'm absolutely delighted to have done it. Now, some of you will remember Barbara, and no doubt many of you won't. Barbara, sadly, is no longer with us, and she passed away in 2015. This society was incredibly close to Barbara's heart, and the committee's kindly let us introduce this new AiPS award, the En Plein Air Award. Now, Barbara was previously the chair of ACSAC, which was the Association of Civil Service Art Clubs, which was the forerunner to AiPS as we know it today. Now, she's responsible for organising the painting holidays for many years, which I know Andrew takes full responsibility for all the hard work that goes into that these days. And those holidays were something that Bar looked forward to immensely. She was never without a sketch pad, pencils and brushes, and painting was a huge part of her life from an early age. Professionally, Bar was an architect. She qualified in 1947 after serving 2 years with the Wrens in the latter part of the Second World War. Now, as a post-war architect, her entire career involved covered public sector buildings, primarily schools, universities and hospitals. And as a young architect, she was spotted by the luminary Sir George Grenfell Baines and quickly became the lead architect at his headquarters of his practice in Preston, which later became Building Design Partnership. And when Bar and my father Jeff moved to London in 1970, Bar called Gigi, and Gigi said, "Bar, there's our office in London. There's a new job for you there." But that was the early 1970s. Things changed in 1974 with a huge recession from 73-75, and finding work in the private sector was very hard. And that's when Bar joined the civil service. She initially joined the University Grants Committee as an overseeing architect before moving to the Department of Health at Euston Tower, managing hospital developments across the country until she finally retired in 1990. Just doesn't go too much. But besides working full-time, Bar was also a doctor's wife, and she was mother to me. And in the brief hiatus from when I was born, when I was young, Barbara became a town councillor and, amongst other things, wrote regular ancient building features for the local paper that included her technical drawings. This is when we lived in Worcestershire. But to bring it back to this art club gave her a huge, much-needed break from what work and life and the pressures of day-to-day responsibility, exactly what you've just talked about. The joy that this provided and the friendship and relationship that this organisation created was absolutely enormous. Now, Bar's love was art, primarily in watercolour, but much of her work focused on landscapes and, of course, buildings. She was also a keen sculptor, and in later life dedicated much time to creative writing and in particular to poetry. So in conclusion, we're very glad to be able to celebrate Barbara's life with you and hope her memory will live on for many years with this prize for the years to come. And on that note, the winner of the En Plein Air prize is Beryl Touchard for Waterlock Field. All yours. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josie. Thank you, Matt, for the awards there. And actually, I met Barbara at the Department of Health, and we have colleagues here from the Department of Health and Social Care, because we also have an artist here from the department. So it lives on, doesn't it? And it's really important. And actually, Jean-Pierre was just saying, oh, well, a lot of young people here tonight, which actually is really refreshing, because you know, there's now somebody who gets free rail travel in here. But I'm no longer young. So seriously, please keep telling friends and family about this. You know, you've seen the quality here. A lot of it is just, you know, you go to a few classes. Some people have art degrees and are professional artists, but we're very inclusive. Anybody can join over the age of 18. So anyway, without further ado, we've already sold 2 of Guy's. Thank you, Liz and Kim. Where are you? Yeah, over there. But yeah, enjoy, have a drink, buy stuff, and go for it. Thank you.